You ever learn a new word, and then suddenly it's everywhere? Or you start thinking about buying a certain car, and now you see that exact model on every street? It feels like the universe is sending you signs, but it's not. It's just your brain playing tricks on you. This is called the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, also known as frequency illusion. And once you understand how it works, you'll realize how much of your daily life is shaped by what your brain chooses to notice and what it chooses to ignore. Let's dive into this mental glitch. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon happens when something you've recently learned, noticed, or become interested in suddenly seems to appear everywhere. But the thing is, it was always there. You just weren't paying attention. Your brain is a filtering machine. Right now, there are millions of sounds, images, and pieces of information around you. But if your brain tried to process all of it, you'd be completely overwhelmed. So, to keep you functional, your brain constantly filters out what it thinks is irrelevant noise and only allows the important stuff to enter your conscious awareness. But what happens when something becomes important to you? Like that new word you learned, or that car model you're considering buying. Suddenly, your brain tags it as relevant, and once that happens, it moves up the priority list. Now, every time that word pops up, your brain highlights it. Every time that car drives past, you notice it, even though before it just blended into the background. It's not that these things appeared out of nowhere. It's that you finally turned on the spotlight. This is where selective attention comes into play. Your brain is always scanning, but only a tiny fraction of that information reaches your conscious mind. Selective attention is the process that decides what gets through. It's the same reason you can focus on a conversation in a noisy room. Your brain filters out the background chatter. But if someone across the room suddenly says your name, your attention shifts instantly. That's because your name is a trigger for relevance. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon is essentially your brain's selective attention being recalibrated in real time. The moment something becomes relevant to you, it starts slipping through the filter, and because it feels like it's appearing everywhere, your brain creates the illusion that it's suddenly more frequent. But here's the kicker. The actual frequency hasn't changed at all. It's you who changed. This glitch is also supercharged by another cognitive bias, confirmation bias. Once you notice something and it sticks in your mind, your brain starts looking for more of it to confirm that it's special or important. You unconsciously seek patterns that reinforce your belief. You think, wow, this is popping up everywhere. But in reality, it's your brain making those appearances feel more significant than they actually are. And here's why it matters. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon doesn't just apply to words or cars. It applies to ideas, beliefs, even people. Ever heard someone say, "Ever since I started thinking about quitting my job, I see stories of people doing the same everywhere"? That's Baader-Meinhof. It can make you believe the universe is sending you signs, when in fact, it's just your brain filtering information differently. Now, before we continue, count how many times you've experienced this glitch in the past month. Was it a word? A product? Maybe even a new trend you hadn't noticed before? Drop your number in the comments. Let's see how many of us are walking around with our attention filters glitching daily. And if you enjoy uncovering the hidden tricks your brain plays on you, hit that subscribe button right now. Because this is just one of many invisible mind glitches that shape your reality. But the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon isn't just a fun brain glitch. It has real consequences on how you see the world, make decisions, and even form beliefs. Let's take a practical example. You're thinking about switching to electric cars. You've never paid much attention to them before. But now, every time you step outside, it feels like half the cars on the road are Teslas or EVs. You think, wow, everyone's going electric. But statistically, the number of EVs hasn't changed since last week. It's just your attention filter shifting focus. This illusion of frequency can reinforce beliefs and even create false trends in your mind. It's powerful because it feels so real. You're literally seeing it with your own eyes. But your eyes aren't the problem. It's the filter between your eyes and your brain. This glitch becomes dangerous when applied to beliefs, especially in areas like politics, conspiracy theories, and social issues. You start noticing news stories, posts, and conversations that align with your views. Not because they're suddenly more common, but because your brain is actively looking for them. It's a feedback loop where attention creates perceived frequency, which then reinforces belief, which sharpens attention even more. Marketers, influencers, and even algorithms know this. Ever wondered why after you Google a product, you suddenly see ads for it everywhere? That's not just tracking cookies. It's Baader-Meinhof in action. Your brain starts picking out those ads more than it did before. But it doesn't stop there. This phenomenon also affects relationships. You meet someone new, they mention a hobby or interest you've never thought about, and suddenly that hobby seems to pop up everywhere. It's not destiny. It's your brain connecting dots that were always there but previously invisible to you. So how do you fight back against this glitch? The answer is awareness. Now that you know this phenomenon exists, you can catch yourself in the act. The next time you think, wow, this thing is everywhere now, pause and ask yourself, is it really more frequent, or have I simply tuned into it? Your brain is an incredible pattern recognition machine, but it's not perfect. It will find patterns even where none exist. And that's what makes glitches like Baader-Meinhof so convincing. But here's the good news. Being aware of this phenomenon is the first step to taking back control of your attention. You can't stop your brain from filtering reality, but you can become more conscious of when it happens and why. So next time you feel like the universe is sending you signs, remember, it's probably just your brain recalibrating its focus. But now I want to hear from you. What's the last thing you experienced Baader-Meinhof with? A product? A song? An idea? Drop it in the comments. Let's see what your brain has been glitching on lately. And if you want to keep uncovering the hidden tricks your mind plays on you, make sure to subscribe. We've only just scratched the surface of how your perception is being quietly edited behind the scenes. Hit the bell too, so you don't miss the next glitch.